Hello, I am Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express, and you are watching Hashtag Truth with Scott Larson.
Watch it all fall down around you now. Was it ever really worth it? Having your kingdom crumble to the ground? Because you never had the courage. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up.
Hello, everybody. It's 7 o'clock. It's Friday evening. You know what that means. It's time for Hashtag Truth. And tonight we have the one, the only, the deathmatch messiah himself, Lazarus Black. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Took a couple weeks off to rest and recover and spend some more time with my daughter. But
Man, you've been hitting it pretty hard here with the deathmatch, man. We're going to talk a lot about deathmatch tonight. So if you're a fan out there, Robert Brown's in the house, Lafayette, Indiana, said, what's going on?
what's going on, man? I actually am talking to somebody about getting into some deathmatch shows in Indiana.
Nice. Very nice. So, Robert, there you go. You might be able to go on over and watch Lazarus Black wrestle. He said, what's happening? Straight to you.
What's up?
Now, I want to hear your take on this, man. We're going to get right into the first segment. So let me go ahead and key up the band, and then we'll be right back to ask you 1,000,001 questions.
Go.
All right, this is tell us all about you. First question you always get on here is, how did you get into the business, and how long have you been in the business?
So I've been in the business a lot longer than I've been Lazarus Black, but I don't count any of that. So I've been Lazarus Black for 5 years, probably 6 now.
Okay. It's hard to remember with all those light tubes going over your head and everything.
Yeah, I think it's 6 now. What month is it?
We are in May.
Okay, yeah, I'll have been Lazarus Black for 6 years in June. So
Okay.
But it was my dad that got me into it. I grew up watching him, and he was pro wrestler for about 20 years.
Okay.
Watched him do, like, he was hardcore champion at something like 18, 19 different companies. And
Nice.
so
he moved around. So he moved around. He traveled.
He used to travel with Sir Mo and his circuit. So they would go Kentucky to Texas.
Oh, wow. That's a wide range. And you're talking back toward the territory days too.
90s to early 2000s.
Okay, so the territory days were just dwindling away when he started doing all that. We got a lot of people in here. Robert Brown wants to know, who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
So do you want the answer you expect, or do you want the honest answer?
I want the honest answer. This is hashtag truth.
So the honest answer is, I was a big fan of New Jack growing up.
And I know why, I think. Go ahead.
Well, it wasn't just the violence. Like, obviously, I loved the violence. It was his, like, I don't care.
Right.
Like, oh, you want me to be a heel? I'll show you a heel.
Right.
And
he was out there, and he did walk to his own drum, no matter what anybody has said. And I see a little bit of that in you, man.
Jack was one of those dudes that he gets a lot worse of a rap than he deserves. There were a lot of cases, like with Hunter Red, Mass Transit, all those guys, where he was given an inch and took a mile. But in terms of, like, professional,
right,
if you respected him, he was cool with you.
Destiny, my daughter, said, we miss you, Laz.
I miss you guys too. Now, if you want the answer everyone's expecting me to say, I was a big fan of Jeff Hardy growing up.
Okay, Jeff Hardy, I got you. And I have to say another thing about New Jack. New Jack, he pressed the boundaries and he knew when to stop, but he pressed them really good. My favorite promo of New Jack ever is when I believe he was at Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and him and his tag team partner were there, and he did a like anti-white promo. I'm black, all you guys hate me. It was amazing because man, I'm telling you, people wanted to like noose him up after that promo,
Yeah,
but
dude.
it was good though.
I think are you talking about the promo where he said, before I say anything, I want to give a big shout out to the homeboy OJ Simpson. Keep up the good work.
I think it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was his debut in Smoky Mountain.
Yeah. I mean, I remember he was in a tag team. I can't remember what the tag team was called. Maybe somebody can. Yeah, the Gangsters.
It was
okay.
him and Mustafa.
Yeah, that's it. Ron Emerson Jr., the Wrestling Wire. Guys, Ron came over and helped me out with a little something I had at my house here that he could help me with. I want to thank him personally on here. I know everybody thinks Ron's a bad guy, but I'm gonna say it right here. Ron, thank you. You're a lifesaver, brother.
Ron is the GOAT, and I'm gonna go on and do a little promo of it right now. Go listen to that man's show. If you want a podcast that will cover wrestling but also cover pop culture,
exactly,
is the best place to go. I watch it every single episode.
There you go. I do too. He said this episode's about to get crazy up in here with you and me. Okay, well, it might. It just might. Robert Brown said New Jack was funny as hell. He's got a bunch of laughs. That is true.
He was funny as hell. Even after his wrestling, his whole like watching his shoot interviews, right, and stuff like that. I sat down and watched, I think it was a 3-hour interview of his, and I was cracking up the entire time.
And to get New Jack to sit down for 3 hours, you had to talk his language. You had to give him something to invest in, as we say, or he would have got up and just walked out. So that had to be one heck of an interview, man.
Oh yeah, dude, it was great. They, for probably 75% of the interview, they just let him go. Like whatever he wanted to talk about, he would. Because what are you gonna do? Tell New Jack no?
Yeah, right. Without a doubt. I just lost myself here. Okay, I'm back. Jack Morgan, the Bassmaster, said Slapfest again. He must apparently.
Oh man, dude, me and him slapped the hell out of each other. Back at, I lovingly refer to it as the COVID Dome.
Right. Yes, that's what we all call it.
Yeah. Me and him had a match, and he was like, he said something, and they slapped me, so I slapped him back, and we just decided in that moment of like,
okay, let's just do it.
Let's see how much time we can kill just by slapping back and forth.
I don't remember that match. I must have been absent during that match because I would have remembered that. But
we fried each other.
But that makes a good match, though. Robert Brown said, I'm a Jeff Hardy fan, too. Robert Brown, funny you talk about that stalker, because here in a little while, I'm going to show a video. He sent me a new video. He's still after me, brother. Destiny wants to know, could you tell us about the rivalry between you and Ryan Mantis? Well, we're going to get into that, and then shortly afterwards, why don't we go ahead and watch the death match between you and Ryan Mantis? I think that would be a great show. But go ahead. Could you tell us about the rivalry?
So, oh, man, where to begin? Because a lot of people don't realize this because it happened during COVID. There's actually been 2 feuds between Ryan and I. I know you were there for the first one.
Right.
But the first time, Ryan turned on me.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we handled business and we split ways for about 6 months. And he came out, he helped me out at his pro wrestling. And then we started taking off again. And I was traveling up to Tennessee for Total Psychopathic. Ghazi was coming with me. Ty Tyson was tearing it up as the hardcore champion at AIWF. We were all bleeding for the Black Society,
Right.
except Ryan. Ryan wouldn't spill blood for the cause. And my whole thought process has always been, if you're not willing to spill blood for a cause, you shouldn't be a part of it.
I got you.
So I decided to test him, and it was going really bad for him. We had a hardcore match at APW. I gave him a Death Valley driver through a steel chair. At AIWF, some flukery happened where he got kicked in the face by his buddy, and then he fell on top of me, and I couldn't pick him up. So he won the title. I got him back. I put a gusset plate in his bicep. And I told him.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see the process of what he's talking about, all these matches are on YouTube. Just look up Lazarus Black versus Ryan Mantis, and they pop right up. Every one of them. And they're all classics. Go watch them. I'm telling you. I did today.
It's always bittersweet when I get in the ring with Ryan because, I don't want to beat up one of my friends.
Right. It's more to prove a point than it is that you're beating up a friend, right?
It was less even about proving a point. I knew that Ryan had it in him because we did a match against the Terror Kings, Matt Burns and Rage Davidson, and we both spilled blood that match. I almost bled out.
Them are two of the toughest cookies in the business. Still are today. And man, let me tell you, I can imagine. I haven't seen that match. I would love to see that match if you got a copy.
It's on
of
YouTube.
That.
It's on the YouTube.
I'll have to go look it up. I will definitely check it out.
You can tell it's old because it's in black and white. But we went and we did that match, and Ryan spilled blood, so I knew he had it in him, and all I wanted to do was to pull that back out of him. And
now, how long had you and Ryan? Now, you and Ryan being the Black Society, and I made a mistake a long time ago when you were wrestling at the COVID Dome. I was promoting one of your shows, and I called you the High Society. I know you won't forget it.
Oh no, I'll never forget that. Ryan was the first person I had an extended conversation with when I went to American Pro Wrestling, now Asylum.
Right.
When I first went there, Ryan was the first person I met, him and Kilgore with Hearts and Hugs.
Right.
And we clicked. And when some stuff went down with Kilgore turning on him and wanting to join Damian Legion, we decided, well, if we're going to tag, it's not going to be Hearts and Hugs. We're going to be the Black Society. But we kept some echoes of that with the whole free hugs, tough love thing for a while.
Right.
But I mean, Ryan and I have known each other going on 6 years. The show I met him at was my debut as Lazarus Black.
I can't remember a time when you two weren't friends. I mean, that's just me. So it's been about 6 years.
Then we ended up in the death match that we're going to watch. And it was brutal, and it was bloody, and it was bittersweet, and it was everything it needed to be. And he earned so much respect from me because it takes so much courage to get into a ring and do those kinds of things to your body, especially when you're not accustomed to that.
Right. Robert Brown wants to know if you've wrestled anyone that has went on to WWE or AEW.
I wrestled a couple of guys who ended up on AEW, especially AEW Dark. I mean, Dark pulls so many people from our area, like Ella Envy, Chase Emery. Sadly, never got to get in the ring with James Johnson yet. Planning on it, hoping for it.
That would be a good match. I would love to see that.
I would love to wrestle him, just the battle of the beards. It would be amazing. Mila wants to wrestle me bad, but James says no.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I've wrestled a couple of people. I wrestled Jay Malachi, and he just made his debut on NXT. Great talent. I remember I told Luke Fury while he was on your show 3 years. I told Jay Malachi 4 years ago, I said 5 years tops.
Right.
You're hitting WWE. He didn't believe me. And now look at him. Like,
yeah, he's amazing. He's an amazing kid. I have interviewed him, so go back if you ever want to see who we're talking about. Go back and check out the interview. It was a good one, and he has done I'm not going to say he's done everything he can do. I'm just saying, you know, in indies, he's done almost everything he could do. It was time for him to take a step up.
Yeah.
And Robert Brown wants to know if you've ever been a part of a faction.
I have my own faction. So the Black Society, it's my faction. The biggest it's ever been was 25 members. The smallest it's ever been was 2.
Ooh, now I've seen pictures of like 4 or 5. I've never seen that many, but I believe you. But wow, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, at one point I had members in Japan, Mexico, Brazil, Canada, other side of the country.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. We got to get into some of that here in a minute. Robert Brown said, here comes the magic question. Lazarus, what kind of music you like? And I know the backup question is what he's saying.
So I listen to a wide variety of music, but my go-to is hip-hop, metal, punk, and dubstep.
Now, if you guys watch Lazarus Black on Facebook, every once in a while, I don't know if it's that guitar sitting right behind him, but I know every once in a while he'll get on there. He's got another one. Yeah, right there.
I got that guitar, and my ukulele over there.
Yeah, there you go. See, he'll get on there and he'll start playing, and he'll even take requests. I've even sent the request to him, and he sang the song. I can't remember what I requested, but he did a good job of it. Now, is that like your second passion, music?
It's another thing I got from my dad. Like, me and him, we actually had a band together. Back when I was more church inclined, we played in a Christian metal band called Firebread. And a lot of people don't know, I used to be a praise and worship leader in those days. And so like acoustic guitar just kind of felt like the vibe.
Right.
And I was raised a metalhead.
Sometimes it's better just to have that acoustic guitar than it is the full band, man. I mean, some songs they just sound better, man. And the backup question, let me ask this before we get too deep. Do you like Tupac?
I love Tupac.
Okay. Robert Brown always asks, what kind of music do you like, and do you like Tupac? He's a Tupac and Biggie fan himself. So
Tupac wrote hands down the greatest diss track of all time with "Hit 'Em Up." Like, that's my like hype song when I'm about to go take care of business.
I like rap, but I have to admit I'm a T-Mac guy. I'm a Tom McDonald guy. I love Tom.
Tom McDonald, he's got that victim complex, and I can't get behind that.
A lot of people he does a lot of stuff about the military and a lot about what's going on in the news, and some people like it, some people don't. I'm a huge political guy, so of course I'm gonna like it.
I give anyone props for back in the military, but when you start getting into this point where you're like, oh, everyone hates me, and it's like, bro, you intentionally made them hate you. Like, don't.
Yeah, he did do that. He did do that. I have to admit.
He's a heel. And I mean, also, like, there is a little bit of, like, it's kind of cool to know that an ex-pro wrestler is now a famous rapper.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. He was an indies wrestler for a little while. He didn't last very long. He even admits it.
He sucked. He sucks.
I never got to see any of his matches, but
I
if I
found
could
one
find
on
one,
YouTube. I'll send one to you.
oh, please send it to me because I would love to laugh a little bit too if that's the case, man. So if you guys have any comments or questions for Laz Black, keep them coming. Robert Brown, I know you're not done with your questions, man. Destiny's watching. Oh boy, Robert Brown wants to know if you're updated on the recent Ric Flair incident.
No, not
Ric
really.
Flair, apparently Ric Flair, I saw the video. Ric Flair went into a bar and pretty much made a drunken fool of himself.
That doesn't surprise me. It's Ric Flair.
Yeah, and see, and that's the problem that a lot of people are having. That people are saying just that. Well, it's Ric Flair, you know. Yeah, well,
Like, it doesn't give him a pass. It just means I'm not surprised by it.
right there you go. I got you without a doubt. So I'm gonna hit this commercial right quick, and then when we come out of the commercial, why don't we set it up and why don't we watch Lazarus Black versus Ryan Mantis in the death match? We'll be right back after this quick message.
On Friday, May 17th, Extreme World Wrestling makes its return to the Waxhaw Tap House for its biggest event yet. It's the 2024 Waxhaw Cup. A one-night, 16-man tournament will pit the stars of XWW against each other for glory and prestige. Come see your favorites, including Mr. Number 1 Cam Jackson, Saeed Al-Sabah, the Slim Reaper Zay Vega, Bobby Valentine, Lil Panda, and 2024 Matthews Cup winner JP Lehman. Admission to the Waxhaw Tap House is free, and the show kicks off at 7:30 p.m. Join us to see who has what it takes to be called Waxhaw Cup winner. XWW, innovation required, violence expected.
There you go, without a doubt. Now, I was corrected by two people. The Saint said that was an Italian restaurant in Florida, and Robert said it was a pizza joint. So basically the same thing, Italian pizzeria or some sort. But either way, it doesn't give him a free pass to be a butthead. That's just what. And he was during that whole thing. He was. Somebody said something to him, and he was like, "Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?" You know, Ric Flair, like, you know, dude, yeah, you're a 16-time champion. Half the world knows you, but you ain't gotta act like that, man.
Yeah, nah, there's no excuse for that.
The Saint said, "Here's one serious thing about Laz. You're going to talk politics with him. Be sure to speak properly, and he will do the same. Get ignorant, get indignant." Not a wise decision. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not a nice person when people aren't respectful to me.
Politics is something that nobody is ever going to agree 100%. Two people are not going to agree 100% on politics. But what gets me upset about this country, and we're only going to be on this for a minute, is the biggest thing that could solve the problems nobody wants to do, and that is to sit down and have serious talks about any positions. So what do you feel about that? I'm gonna give you a few seconds.
I mean, I feel like conversations can be had, but like
Right.
for me, for instance, and like I'm non-binary. I
Right.
use they them pronouns. And you know, a lot of people have the mindset of agree to disagree. I think that can apply to certain things. I can agree to disagree about economics or about military spending, but when someone looks me in the face and goes, "You're a man," Ghazi, like I've almost come to blows over Ghazi because that's my homegirl. And like people looking at her going, "You're a man, nothing you ever do." I'm not going to agree to disagree with that because, like,
Dude, there are wrestlers out there that do that gimmick, whether that's their lifestyle or not. I don't see the problem with somebody. You know, how many people have come out with the gimmick in professional? We'll swing it into wrestling. How many people have come out in professional wrestling? I mean, we have a Hall of Famer that came out, you know, dressed in pigtails and pink tights and brought out Miss Linda and, you know, acted like a woman. We at a couple years ago, we had a champion going all over the place in our area called BB Naturally, who came out and he who acted like a she. I don't know, if that was for real or not. It's not my place to
It
ask.
was.
But okay, so there you go. I loved watching her. I'll say her. I loved watching her wrestle everywhere she went because it was a breath of fresh air. It was something different. I mean, she came out to Venus of all songs, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy you bring her up. I was actually, Ghazi and I had gone to a show and someone had mentioned her and was like, "Hey, this is what you should do." And Ghazi said no. Ghazi was like,
No,
"No,
that's not. If
I'm
that's
my
not
own
Ghazi,
character."
then no.
And
Exactly.
as we were walking through the Asheville Mall talking about it, we ran into BB in like a random like comic book store.
Right.
And it's just like we are actively talking about her, and she just kind of like looks around the corner. And I looked at Ghazi, I said, "Oh shit, that's her."
We have been trying to. Where did you see her at? We've been trying to locate her forever.
Honestly, man, she just wants to like kind of step away from it and live
Oh
quietly.
man, I'm sad to hear that. I'm almost in tears because of that. I'm almost
Yeah,
in tears, man.
it's just, I mean, dude, I will always say I've worked in some of the craziest industries in the world, and wrestling is hands down the most toxic
Oh,
industry I have ever worked in.
I've never been in the business, but I know that for a fact. I know that's the most true statement that we're going to hear tonight.
Yeah, you've been around it long enough to see the stuff that happens, and it's sad, but it is what it is.
Alicia Walker said, "Last death match king." Also, the one person who insisted I chop harder, yet I was scared to hit you that night at training.
Yeah, she was so scared to hit me until finally I was like, "I want you to hit me like this," and I hit her, and finally I got her mad enough to hit me back, and I said, "Good, now hit every single person you get in the ring with just like that."
Gary Conway said, "Nothing but respect for you."
Preach.
The Saint said, "It is my way." No, but you're going to be disrespectful to someone who is a friend. But you aren't going to be disrespectful to someone who is a friend. There you go.
Ron is another dude that I would immediately go to blows over. Like,
Right?
I would
Me
beat
too.
the
Me
hell
too,
out of
without a doubt.
somebody over.
Hey, without a doubt. And a lot of people misconstrue him, and he likes that, though. He likes it when they think one thing, but he's actually another way. He gets off on that. He won't say it, but he does. And Laz knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yes,
I do.
yes, he does. All right, here we go. Lazarus Black versus Ryan Mantis in a death match. Now, I cut out the beginning of it where you guys walk in and everything. I wanted to get right to the wrestling, but explain where you're at, and again, a short synopsis on how we got here.
All right, so this is the Chatterbox Tavern in Knoxville, Tennessee. This is what some people lovingly refer to as the backyard venue. It's not someone's backyard. It's a bar that has a giant courtyard in the back for like music and stuff. In some angles, you'll actually see a stage.
Right?
But basically, after that hardcore match, and when I put that gusset in Ryan's arm, I told him, I was like, "You want to be a part of my world? Well, I talked to Total Psychopathic Wrestling. I'm very good friends with the people who run it. And so you're going to come on up and we're going to see if you really got what you think you got."
Now, I'm going to tell you, there's a part in this match. I will pause it when it happens. I did not think Ryan Mantis would do this or let this be done to him. Don't say it.
I'm going to make a prediction by
Okay.
a photo of it happening to me.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably right. Yep, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah, so fun fact about that. That was a little nod to my very good friend Raven Havoc, who the last time I was on #Truth, we were talking about the triple threat death match that was coming up.
Sure was.
He is currently, for the foreseeable future, taking a leave of absence for medical reasons. And that was my way of like
Now I have to
shouting
ask,
him
since you opened Pandora's box there, was it because of the death match or was it just something that was going on in his body?
It was just medical issues with him.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with matches.
I got you. All right, we're going to put these two comments up, then we're going to start watching this match. Gary Conway said, best tag team match 2021 Rapid Wrestling, Ryan and Black versus Kenny Urban and Boone. I remember that match.
That match is also on the YouTube channel.
That was at the COVID Dome.
I still have those Black Society tights, and they still have pink stains from Boone's damn rose petals.
I remember he came in with the roses in his mouth and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ben Wolf said, hello, Laz.
What's up,
He also
What's
said,
up,
need
Ben?
to see you. He said, also need to see you back at See No Evil Wrestling. All right, let's go. Let's start the matches. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, but I am going to turn that off because Facebook has a way of all the crowd noise ends up being music to their ears and I get hit with.
Oh, yeah,
stupid
you're
stuff.
good. Also, with your show being PG, these fans are not PG.
Right? Yeah. So
some very foul stuff gets said during this match.
So did you guys? Oh, okay. That's the way to start off.
That will always hurt so bad.
Is this Ryan Mantis's first ever death match?
This is Ryan's first ever death match, and
now I know he's done hardcore. I've seen him do hardcore.
So this is what just smashed him in the face. These are T12 fluorescent light tubes, and that is a water jug, which you wouldn't think would hurt until you get hit with it.
Have you ever got hit by one? Them things are solid, man.
Yeah, you can see like he's legitimately rocked from it.
I mean, I at first when I heard you two were having a death match, I was like, no way. There's no way. These two are great friends. There's no way. I could see you doing it, but not him. And you said it all at the beginning of the show. You gave him the seal of approval after this. It was like, okay, now you're part of us. Now you're part of this world. We know you can do this. Now let's see you come out of your shell and really, do what you got to do. Did that happen? Did that happen during this match? Was there a point in this match where you went, "Uh-oh, I might have started something"?
There was a point in this match.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. This is what we call hard way, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't. I just can't.
There was a point in this match where I was like, he's finally starting to get
now that's got bottle caps on it, right?
Yep. Steel bottle caps from beer bottles. And those suck.
And there's Ghazi standing behind you. For those who don't, when we were talking about Ghazi, that was Ghazi behind you.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's rough, man. Those bottle caps hurt. Here comes the stapler.
I mean, you're gonna run him through the gambit in this match. Oh my goodness.
There's the same staple gun I used right there.
Oh my goodness, here it comes. I'm going to be honest with you, Lazarus. I don't care if I was 30 years younger and had to. There's no way I could do this. I have all the respect in the world for y'all, but there's no way I could do this.
A lot of people think that we like just use the sweat to stick something to you, and that there's no staples in it.
That's real staples, folks.
So there's the staples right there.
Yeah.
Out of my staple gun.
Yeah. Those are real staples. I've been close enough to a couple of oh gosh.
That hurts. That genuinely hurts. It hurts everybody. But that was another little throw out to Raven Havoc. That's his signature.
You can see the cuts on the back of your arm. And I'm pretty sure that you both have a few cuts on your back, but your clothes are gonna take a few seconds for the clothes for it to seep into that.
Yeah, it takes a minute for everything to saturate.
Oh my goodness, Marcus Eriks. Marcus, get a hold of me, brother. I would love to get you back on hashtag.
I haven't talked to you in a hot minute.
Right? Been a while. Welcome to Hashtag Truth, brother. We are watching Lazarus Black and his I don't know if they're still tag team partners, but
No.
they were.
There's just a mutual respect now.
I got it.
But also, the AIWF Mid-Atlantic Hardcore title is on the line here because Total
Yes.
Psychopathic Wrestling is a AIWF affiliate.
Marcus said, for sure, back on the West Coast doing my thing. You're back in you're in Portland now, right? You're in Oregon, maybe not Portland, but you're in Oregon now, right, Marcus? Oh, right to the head. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see that is a Louisville Slugger that he just shrugged off. Like you can listen if you guys go and watch this. You can listen and you hear the bat dome him, and he just shrugs it off.
Yeah, you guys can go back and watch this on YouTube with the actual sound and everybody heckling, but unfortunately, I can't do that. Yes, Marcus says he's in Oregon right now. Great.
Those bottle caps just are so bad. Like, especially when he's raking them across my head like that, is so bad. Oh, here you go, Scott.
Oh no, here it comes. Oh, I'm about to scream like a little girl because this, no, sir. Never.
The first one, I love the angle they got because you can see the needle. Like, you can see it come through his cheek.
Oh, there's no way. There is absolutely no way.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
pretty much.
You can see it right there on the close-up. Oh.
Yeah, he's pretty much in shock at this point.
And then you go ahead and stick it down. Oh, no. I'm shivered. I'm actually shaking just watching it.
And if you look in the background right there, that was me picking up the dollar that he had torn out of his arm and sticking it in my pocket.
You stuck the dollar back in your pocket.
Yeah, I stole that fan's dollar.
Oh, that's great.
And
oh my goodness.
Don't know if you can see right here. The match before us was Travis Dykes and Ghazi.
Okay.
And Ghazi put Travis through a pane of glass, and that is the broken glass from.
Oh, that's all that glass that's under you right now?
Yeah, they asked us if we wanted it cleaned up, and I told them no, just put it in a pile.
Yeah, it's a death match. Why not? We'll throw each other on top of it.
I'll do something with it. Oh, there's the infamous gusset plate.
What is he? Oh no. Oh.
Yeah, those are rough. I've got the scars from those.
That is basically, people, if you don't know what that is basically taking a cheese grinder with edges and just basically popping it into your arm.
So the best way to explain those, and I put mine in deeper on him. Basically, the best way to explain those is if you go up into your attic, you'll see metal plates holding the rafters together.
Yeah, hit your head on one of those.
Yeah, they have half-inch spikes on the back of them.
Yeah, hit your head on one of those and see how it feels. It does not feel good.
Those are rough.
There you go. You did it. You did it to him. You just slammed him in that same glass pile.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do it again too.
Oh, then you push him into the glass. Oh,
dude, that glass, it'll do things to your body that you are not expecting. I have a scar on my back that looks like a bullet hole from a piece of glass like that.
Oh, wow.
From See No Evil, yeah.
People are being awfully quiet all of a sudden after Marcus Eric spoke up and said, hey, because people are watching it. I'm telling you, this is like no other wrestling that I mean, you guys can basically, as long as you two agree to it, you guys can basically do whatever you want to each other. I mean, that's basically what a death match is, right?
Yeah, it is. And there's Ryan eating the glass like a psychopath, but you can see the moment when he regrets it right there. because I don't think he realized how sharp those pieces of glass are. But yeah, we are.
Now, what are you gonna do with? Right in the head, right in the head. Here it comes. Oh, he put his arms up. Good thing.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with that pallet back there?
So my goal with the pallet was I was going to set it up corner to corner, like set it up in a corner, and I was going to put Ryan to where he'd be getting up in front of it, and I would do a shotgun drop kick from one corner across the ring and hit him. But sadly, we ended up not being able to use that.
Right, right.
Because I just found an easier way to handle things.
Ben Wolf said it's a wild time to see those matches.
Yeah, I mean, dude, and like the stuff that I did as See No Evil, like that was one thing. But like if you go to my channel and you watch the match I did with Tristan Ramsey, we actually broke the record in Tennessee for most light tubes used in a one-on-one death match.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you got him bleeding down the arms, his back, his head, his mouth for sure. Because not only did he take the needles, but he chewed on glass. So his mouth is like bleeding profusely. Oh no,
and
now you're making bread.
8-foot-long light tubes.
Now this I'm going to take as a high compliment. Thank you very much, Saint. He said, because Ben Wolf said it's a wild time to be watching this. He said, nah, I'm watching the match again, but this time I have commentary from within. It's like behind the scenes movie parts we got on DVDs. There you go. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
A little behind the scenes tip. I actually got a gnarly cut on my arm from taking that bump specifically, because when I went through the tubes, one of them angled down and stabbed into my arm.
Oh.
And if you look at my left arm, it's just gushing from that.
Oh man.
Yeah. Like the right
and that's the chance you take. That's the chance you take doing these kind of matches though.
Yeah, I mean, you have to know in a split second how bad something is. Oh, there's the thumbtacks. I personally bought those tacks. That is 1,500 thumbtacks that he is dumping into a pile of broken glass. I knew what he was doing. I was not happy about what he was doing. I hate thumbtacks.
but at this point, you look like you've lost a lot of blood. You look like you're
we were both
struggling.
We were both a little woozy at this point in the match. I don't know.
Have you ever had anything happen to you in a match like this? I believe we asked you this last time you were on the show. Have you ever had somebody come up to you and say, "Hey, let's try this," and you're like, "Ah, that's a little too far off the deep end"?
Fire.
You don't do
Won't
fire.
Do it. Won't do fire. Won't touch it.
Ben Wolf said when you did this at SNEW, hearing fans chant "This was worth it" was awesome.
Book another one.
You're right. Max Carnage, what's going on, Max?
And there you go. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm the new AIWF Mid-Atlantic Hardcore Champion.
There you go.
That is one of my favorite death matches because honestly, I didn't take that much damage. Most of that match was beating the hell out of Ryan.
Yeah, I was going to say he took most of the damage because, like you said, you were kind of indoctrinating him into the into your world, as you put it. I'll use your words.
So, I mean, I know on this podcast it's 99% shoot.
Oh, snap. You said you're the champion, and Marcus Eric said, for now.
Bring it, bro.
Oh,
I am down for a bloodbath with Marcus Erics.
Oh, that would be. Take my money, please.
And fun fact, Marcus, all those muscles you got just means that the skin is stretched tighter so that when it cuts, it opens up more.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's why if you watch the video of Carino taking his first light tube bundle at GCW, why he immediately just started gushing, it's because he's so ripped that like his skin just split. But so peek behind the curtain, down with kayfabe for a minute.
Okay.
Ryan and I, we kind of knew that like we had different visions. His goal companies are AEW, WWE, Ring of Honor, places like that. My
Right.
goal companies are Combat Zone, XPW, AWR, places like that. And those two don't really mesh well. And we always knew, anyone who shared a locker room and heard us talk about it, we always knew that the only way this feud could end was with a death match. We were the most hardcore tag team in the Carolinas. Yeah, dude, I've been following his fitness journey. That dude got swole.
Right. Yeah, he did.
But we knew, being the hardcore tag team, there was no way to end it but a death match. And he was kind of nervous about it because, you know, there's all of the connotations and
Right.
the locker room drama that comes, especially in the Carolinas, from doing a death match. I mean, I've been unbooked from 7 or 8 companies just because of doing death matches, which I think is stupid. But it's another.
I mean,
talk.
if here's my point of view, and I'm a fan. Okay, here's my point of view. We've already seen that you bring all your own material. You bring your own light tubes because you want to make sure they're a certain kind. You bring your own barbed wire. I'm pretty sure you got a roll of it somewhere in that apartment. You're looking around, but I know it's there.
Ghazi has it.
Ghazi has
a
it.
roll
Okay,
of
well then
barbed
Ghazi
wire.
has it, but I know you have one. You bring your own tacks. You definitely bring your own needles.
Yeah, the needles are prepackaged, single
Right.
sealed.
Just
and-
brought out of the paper before the match starts, I imagine.
Yeah. And if you watch that clip, you see me bite and then spit something up in the air, and that's because those needles actually stay capped until I use them.
Saint said, I remember helping Doc stop Ryan's bleeding in a match in South Carolina so we could finish it. So we could finish the damn match. He bleeds well, apparently.
He does. He's a great bleeder. But I kind of talked to him about it, and I told him, I was like, it doesn't have to be a death match. Like we don't have to push it that far. And he told me that he wanted to at least have that experience. He wanted to be able to say he had done that before. And so we sat down and we had a talk. And I told him, I was like, I can go this far or I can go this far. What do you need me to do? And he said, I want, it was funny because on the way there, we were on the phone. And he was like, man, I don't want to use that many light tubes. I don't want to use, the needles. I don't want to use anything too crazy. And I was like, okay. And then we get there, and Matt Raby, the promoter, he has a box of 30 light tubes. And he goes, those are yours. And then there's a guy named Kenneth Edwards, and he makes most of the weapons that we use. And I trust that dude with my life. Actually, if you look right there, that hanging on my wall right there is a pentagram made out of carpet tack strips. So like we had all this fun stuff. And when Ryan was in that environment, he just said, forget everything I said. Give me everything you got.
Wow.
It was.
Well, he got a sudden burst of okay, let's see how far I can take it. Let's see how far I can.
It was a very emotional moment at the end of that match, man. Because like that was the end of Ryan Mantis and Lazarus Black. Like that tag team will never exist again.
Oh wow.
And
So you're telling me on hashtag truth right here, we are not going to see a reunion anywhere down the line of the Black
I don't
Society.
see it happening.
Okay.
It's one of those things where we have different goals and we love each other. He's my brother.
Right.
But we have different goals, and I was holding him back from his goals, and he was holding me back from my goals. So we just decided we don't have to tag team to be best friends. And like, it was emotional, dude. Like, there were some tears shed in that cover.
Oh, I bet there was, because you guys, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, there's tears being shed right now. It'd probably be me after we get off of here, because I was a huge Black Society fan. I loved it when you guys came out at any show, man. You guys were a great tag team, but I can understand what you're saying, bro. I mean, you ain't got to reiterate it. It makes sense, because if you're going more, death match, and he's going more, WWE, AEW, I can understand.
Yeah, and
the reason.
Honestly, I mean, dude, I've had 3 tag teams that were like extended that I had for a while, and because first it was me and Ethan Blake. Screw that piece of garbage. May he rot in a cell. Oh no, I'm serious. Like, he could get hit by a bus tomorrow and I would smile at the news. Then was me and Ryan.
Right.
And during that first hiatus, Playa and I tagged.
Right.
We were the Wired Jaw Social Club.
Right.
And I mean, me and Playa had great chemistry.
Right.
We're 2 dudes, grew up in rough neighborhoods. We're very hard hitting, just love to fight and have fun.
Marcus said that's real love, talking about you and Laz.
But
my dad hates Paul Heyman, so he said death match, Lazarus Black versus Paul Heyman.
see, that's the thing, man. I love Paul.
I do too, but my dad can't stand him, and it makes it fun to watch wrestling with him sometimes, because every time he comes out, man, he just it's great.
But to be real, there has never been anyone that I've had better chemistry with, both as tag team partners and as opponents, than Ryan.
Yeah.
Like, he and I, the first match we ever did together, we got told that we were wrestling as his entrance music hit.
Wow.
And we went out and did a 15-minute banger.
Right. I've seen some of your matches, man. I mean, you guys had really good chemistry. Yeah. But let me get to this last. I know you want to talk about this. We'll keep talking, but I want to get to this last thing. Name drop. Definitely, we'll be talking about Ryan here shortly. You know that. But
of course,
I'm going to hit this commercial. On the outside of commercial, we're going to do name drop with Lazarus Black. I'm going to give him 5 pictures of wrestlers that he knows, and I want to hear a little story about each one of them. So here we go.
This is 4 Foot Batman. And 4 Foot Batman knows the home of great collectibles at awesome prices. Retro toys and collectibles, movie memorabilia, Magic the Gathering cards, wrestling figures, Hot Wheels, the always popular Funko Pops, and much, much more. He knows the Hall of Collectibles is located in downtown Cherryville, North Carolina, at 400 East Main Street. Give them a call today, 980-989-5181. Retro Toys and Collectibles, the heavyweight champion in collecting.
All right, we are here to do name drop, but before we do, yes, Retro Toys and Collectibles in Cherryville, North Carolina. Let me tell you something. If you go in that place, the owner's name is Cotton. If you collect anything, and I do mean anything, if Cotton doesn't have it, he's got a phone number of somebody who does, and he'll get it for you. Just go in there and tell him #Truth sent you, man. All right. Name drop, Lazarus. I know you were going to have fun with this. These are 5 guys that you've at least been in the ring with, or you know. So we're gonna go right into it. But before we do, we had one comment that I really want to play. Anna Stevens says, "Yay, my favorite guy."
Hey.
All right, here we go. First name, and I know you wrestled him because I watched the match. Mr. Ronnie York.
It's a love-hate relationship. Like, love Ronnie. Love being in the ring with Ronnie. He's one of the few guys that is just willing to get hit by anything. It's kind of funny, and he's always.
He looks
fun
to be a
crack
little bit
jokes with.
older too, so it looks like he's probably been around the block in wrestling.
Yeah, he's been around the block. He mostly wrestled the Florida circuit for the longest time.
Okay. All right, here we go with number 2, and I watched this match also. Nick Quinones.
Oh man. So oddly enough, the night I wrestled that match with him, I think I've only seen him like one other time since then. And dude, it was a blast. Like, I told him straight from the start, I was like, look, I like to hit hard. I like to get hit hard. And he goes, I tell you what, you throw the first punch, I'll match it. And
there you go.
Beat the hell out of each other. It was a blast.
And again, all 5 of these guys, you can go on YouTube and just hit Lazarus Black versus whichever name is here, and you can watch some great matches, let me tell you. Now, you mentioned this guy a couple of times. I was almost going to give it away that he was here, but I know you've got a story to tell about this one.
Alex Herzog, man. That dude. So, you know how, like, when you see a guy backstage, you kind of lose that intimidation factor?
Right.
Because you see him like, no, not with him. That man is the most intimidating person I've ever seen in the ring and out. And when you're in the ring with him, because I've done 2 matches with him now, a death match and a standard good old singles match, and he beat the hell out of me in both of them.
He looks like he's got that character look that's just different. I love guys that come in with a character. Yeah,
he's a caveman. Like, tell me how many cavemen that are true cavemen. Like, he doesn't come out speaking English.
Right.
He comes out like chanting in some old forgotten language with nothing but a loincloth.
Right.
And he is genuinely a terrifying human being, and also did one of the scariest spots I have ever been involved with, where he put a light tube on my shoulder right here against my neck and did a Vulcan nerve pinch onto the light tube and was like grinding the glass into my neck and shoulder. And it was the most scared I've ever been in the ring. But once I got to know him, amazing dude.
Right.
Absolutely amazing person. Could talk to him for hours about absolutely nothing.
Now here's a guy number 4 that I watched you wrestle this gentleman, and it was a pretty good match. I believe it was just a regular singles match, but it was a great match. Curtis Robertson.
Dude, Curtis and I have wrestled a couple of times, and every single time he has pushed me. It's like, I am decent when it comes to chain wrestling and mat wrestling and stuff like that. But that is his big focus, is the grappling aspect of it. And every single time, it's always something.
He tied you up in knots, didn't he?
Oh, dude. I think I'm winning right now 2-1 wrestling him. But every single time it's this, like, all right, now how the hell do I get out of this hold? And it's, dude will fold your clothes with you still inside of him.
And that makes a great wrestling match. It really does. I love wrestling matches like that as much as I do the high flying stuff. Give me a great grappled match any day.
That's why a lot of people like watching us work, is because our styles are so different. I work very much in that Japanese strong style, pancrase style of wrestling.
Right.
And he's very much that like classic Von Erich style of wrestling.
Right.
And he's gonna mark out over the fact that I compared him to the Von Erichs. I guarantee it.
That's a great compliment right there for anybody. All right, you know who number 5 is. I don't even have to tell you. Let's go ahead and hear it, Mr. Ryan Mantis.
That dude, he's a bit. No, I'm just kidding. That dude is the hands down closest friend I have ever had in the world of wrestling. I have called him at like 3:00 in the morning having a panic attack, and he's like woke him up out of his sleep, and he's just talked me down. We did a show up in North Carolina where I ended up getting knocked out and had a horrible concussion. He made sure I got home inside my apartment and in my bed. Like, he refused to leave until he knew I was in my bed. I woke up the next morning, didn't remember any of it, and he called me and was like, "Hey, this is what happened. Are you okay?" Like, that dude.
That is a true friend. That is more than a friend. That's a brother right there. That is, you know, when somebody cares enough to. I mean, and I'm not saying if you're listening and you think I'm talking to you, I'm not. But there are some wrestling buddies that would have just took you home, dropped you off at the door, and left and went home. Man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For him to care enough to make sure that you are okay to sleep, that you're not going to pass out, that you're going to be okay, and to call you the next day. Yeah.
Ryan and I went from absolute nobodies together at APW to being a household name in North Carolina together. Like,
wow.
You couldn't go to a show in North Carolina without hearing about the Black Society. And if it wasn't by name, you heard about the dudes that do the free hugs and tough love. And I mean, dude, I've never been at a point in a match with him where I was like, I don't want to tag with this dude no more.
Right. I mean, I'm telling you, your guys' styles were great together too, because you guys didn't wrestle the same either. You had, like you said, more of the striker, and he was more of the pure wrestler type. I mean, that's what
well, at first, our style was very different. Granted, you got to see us once we had kind of like found our niche, but in the beginning, like, dude, when I first started tagging with Ryan, he was like 350. And I was maybe 185. And he used to, like, I was his weapon. He would pick me up and throw me. That was the whole gimmick.
Hey, but it went over, right?
Yeah, it went over. We did great with it, and we got so many stories of like drinking together, bleeding together, injuries together, training together, like all of this stuff. I mean, he and I used to go out to the Welford Pavilion, Jimmy Ward's old place, and we would go out there by ourselves, put the canvas on Jimmy's ring, or take the canvas off. If he had the nice canvas on, we would take that canvas off, put on the training canvas. But we would get in there and just go for like 3 hours before we took a break. And it just, I don't think I'll ever have another tag team that has that level of chemistry.
Right. I mean, that's what makes it special. And but the thing is, like you said, and I want to reiterate this. I can say that word, really, I can. Is, you know, you guys finally figured it out. You're great together, but your styles are different, and they're going to take you to different places. So there's no sense in for everybody, including me, who would love to see the Black Society last forever. I can just see that, you know, and it's magic when you guys separate for a while too. I mean, you guys doing singles is totally awesome. There was at one point where you guys were changing up your gimmick a little bit, and you were doing the Valhalla. And correct me if I'm wrong. The Valhalla, like, how did that come about?
So I'm at the time I was a Norse pagan. I now consider myself more of an eclectic pagan. But I introduced Ryan to it, and he really identified with a lot of the principles. And the more we looked into it, the more we felt like kind of pulled to that character to try it. And for me, it didn't work. Like for me,
Right.
I felt like I was kind of like putting on a costume.
Right.
But for him, I mean, you look at him at the School of Morton, he's still pulling that character and it works for him.
Yes.
But for
I
me,
love
I'm a punk that likes to drink beer and fight. Like that's
and it does good, man, and it does really good. Well, man, we've been on for an hour and 5 minutes. I appreciate you being on. Time flies, don't it?
yeah.
But I want you back in the future. I know you were just on a few months ago. You come back, man. I would love to see you later on with a couple more death matches under your belt, and come back on and make me scream like a girl again, dude.
I'll tell you what, I have a big opportunity coming up in a couple months. And if all goes well, you're going to definitely want to talk about it.
Okay, that sounds like a winner to me. Just hit me up when it happens, man. Let me know without a doubt.
Will do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to leave with tonight's upcoming shows. We're going to have a full schedule again next week. Ryan, I said Ryan Mantis. Lazarus Black, he was thinking about me. Lazarus Black is the only one that showed up this week. The other two had work obligations that changed the schedule, so they couldn't show up. So I want to thank Lazarus for being on tonight. You were the only show, so you're probably going to get the most views this week, without a doubt. And it's going to be awesome. But I'm going to hit this upcoming shows, and then we're going to be off the air. We will be back Monday, Wednesday, and Friday next week. I will be putting up the advertisement shortly after this show so you can see who it's going to be. I'm excited about next week too. Laz, it's been a pleasure, my man. Come back anytime.
Will do.
All right, here's the upcoming shows, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you Monday.